So this is a very unique song in music history. On Behind the Tracks today, we're talking about a chanson that basically sometimes the lyrics really stick out, sometimes the version of the song really sticks out, and it's still not say controversial, but for when it was written, it was in the midst of probably the boom time in the United States, but it seemed to be more pertinent in the 60s, 70s, into the 2000s. Of course, it got to be a song that was popularized by the Beatles. So on Behind the Tracks today, we're looking at that great, great early Motown song, Money, That's What I Want. Now, the original version by Garrett Strong was released in August 59. It was recorded in Hitsville in Detroit. The rhythm and blues song went 239. The label was Tamala, with Janie Bradford and the great Berry Gordy as co-writers. Now, this rhythm and blues song, again, was distributed nationally on Anna Records. Many artists later recorded the tune, including the Beatles' rock version in 63 and the Flying Lizards' new wave version in 79. The song developed out of a spontaneous recording session at Hitsville Studio A in Detroit. Gordy and Strong began by improvising on piano and vocals and were joined by Benny Benjamin on drums and Brian Halland on tambourine. It is a response song to the standard The Best Things in Life Are Free. Authors Jim Cogan and William Clark only identified the guitarists and bass guitarists as two white kids walking home from high school who heard the music out in the street and wandered into Hitsville and asked if he could play along. They added, Strong claimed he never saw the two boys who played the bass and guitar again. However, the guitarist has also been identified as Eugene Grew, who claimed that Strong showed him what to play. Now, Strong begins with a bluesy piano riff, with the rest of the instruments gradually falling in. Now, the figure is a key element of the song, is repeated throughout the piece by the piano, bass guitar, and guitar, with background vocals by the Rayburn voices. Author Nick Televesky calls the song an R&B classic, as identified as having a Detroit R&B sound by Mark Lewison. Music journalist Charles Shar Murray describes Money as one of the earliest Motown classics of the days when the label left some of R&B's rough edges in place. Now, the song was originally recorded by Strong and released on Tamala in August 59. Anna Records was operated by Gwen Gordy, Anna Gordy, and Raquel Billy Davis. Gwen and Anna's brother Barry had just established his Tamala label. Soon Motown would follow and license the song to the Anna label in 60, which was distributed nationwide by the Chicago-based Chess Records in order to meet demand. The Tamala record was a resounding success in the Midwestern United States. Now in the States, the single became Motown's first hit in June 1960, making the number 2 on the Hot R&B Sides charts and number 23 in the Billboard Hot 100. The song was listed as number 288 on Rolling Stone's The 500 Greatest Songs of All Time. Grail Marcus has pointed out that Money was the only song that brought Strong's name near the top of the national music charts, but that one time has kept him on the radio all his life. Now, again, Strong on vocals, Barry on piano, Benny Benjamin on drums, Eugene Grew on guitar, and Brian Holland on tambourine. Now, singer Garrett Strong claimed that he co-wrote the song with Gordy and Janie Bradford. His name was eventually removed in copyright registration 3 years after the song was written, restored in 1987 when the copyright was renewed, and then excised again the following year. Gordy has stated that Strong's name was only included because of a clerical error. Now, the Beatles version of Money was a 7-take effort on July 1863. A series of piano overdubs were later added by producer George Martin. The chanson was released in November 1963 as the final track on their second UK album with the Beatles, and subsequently released in the US in April 1964 when it was included on the Beatles' second album. According to George Harrison, the group discovered Strong's version in Brian Epstein's NEMS record store. Though not a hit in the UK, it had been issued on London Records in 1960. They had previously performed it during an audition at Decca Records on January 1st, 1962, with Pete Best still on drums at the time. He also recorded 6 times for BBC Radio. A live version, taped at a concert date in Stockholm in October 1963, was included on Anthology 1. Now, in 2018, the music staff of Time Out London ranked Money, That's What I Want as number 25 on the list of the best Beatles songs. I think it's strong, but ladies and gentlemen, George Martin on piano makes it work. But what's kind of weird about that, it's more aggressive than the Tamala version. Now, the Flying Lizard version released a new wave version of the song as a single and on their first album, The Flying Lizards. It was an unexpected hit, and this version peaked at number 5 in the UK chart and number 50 on the Billboard Hot 100. It also peaked at number 22 on the US dance charts. Now, ironically, ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles version is a little bit longer than the Tamala version, as we call it, but the Flying Lizard version is shorter. Now, what's strange about this, ladies and gentlemen, the Flying Lizards version, if you can find it, the original, I think there's an extended play out there. It's quite interesting. Now, the Flying Lizards version, just for a reminder, went number 11 in Australia, number 23 in Austria, number 28 in Belgium, top 7 in Canada, 39 in France, 33 and 37 in Netherlands, and the Dutch top 40 in the single top 100, number 5 New Zealand, number 5 in the UK, Billboard Hot 100, number 50, Hot Dance Club Play, number 22, and Cashbox 34. Year-end charts, again, was bigger in Canada than most jurisdictions. Australia 71, Canada 59, this is 1980 charts, and New Zealand in 32. Now, the song has been covered by numerous artists, with several versions appearing in a variety of charts. In 64, a single by the Kingsmen from the album The Kingsmen in Person reached number 16 on Billboard Hot 100, number 6 on the US R&B charts, and number 24 in Canada. A version by Janelle Hawkins reached number 17 in the R&B charts in 62. Now, Junior Walker and the All-Stars cover from the album Roadrunner reached number 52 on the Hot 100 and number 35 in the R&B charts in 66. And Bird Elliott and the Fedmen reached number 14 on the UK singles charts in November 63. The song was also a staple for British beat bands. Now, Charlie XCX released a cover of the song as a bonus track on her second album, Sucker, in 2014. Now, instrumental cover of the song appears on the main gameplay theme of the Bali pinball table, Junkyard. So, not to be confused with the Pink Floyd version of Money, this song is like an answer song, Money, but that's what I want. And it's like a comical song, but it's not comical, it's sort of sardonic. But I know a lot of Beatles fans kind of wondering why a lot of people really enjoyed the song where it goes against what the Beatles were talking about, because I don't think they were doing it for the money, because money is good, of course, but the egos of all four Beatles kept all the band going for the amount of years that they went, because the Beatles were all about ego. They wouldn't have kicked out Pete Best, because keeping Pete Best was going to make them more money, because he was the heartthrob of the group. So Money, That's What I Want, probably one of the most interesting Beatles covers of all time, considering covering all the major artists that they did, Roy Orbison and Buddy Holly and all that, and Carl Perkins. But ladies and gentlemen, I remember somebody saying to me many years ago, one of the most underrated Beatles song, and for whatever you look at it, every song of the Beatles is overrated and underrated at the same time, because it'll reach a target audience, but some people don't like Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band was considered an overrated song. But I mean, the Lizards version, ladies and gentlemen, very tight. So if you like what you're doing here, we're Behind the Tracks or a different Beatle podcast, let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, or share. And We're Only In It For The Money is another Beatles theme that's in another song. And the famous line, did you want to play? You got to show us money first. Like the famous press conference when he arrived in America. Was this an expansion of this song? We don't know. So, ladies and gentlemen, have a good Mother's Day weekend to all our mothers out there. Please remember, without a mother, we wouldn't be here. Have a good one.